ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mysticraven. Right, so I was going to come out with my DK tank today, but of course we had that ESO live yesterday. I didn't get to see it live. I did watch it. I do want to thank Mars Gaming for the heads up. Thanks, Mars. Appreciate it. So I got to watch it, and there was a lot of really good, like, you know, pieces they gave us. You go to the website, there's even more information. So I don't want to talk about necessarily, well, we will be talking about it. One second here. Okay, telemarketer. Anyways, so I'm not going to basically fixate on what we already know, but what we know and how it's going to be applied. So that's going to be the topic of discussion today. Dude, I'm on a tank. Fucking stream stalkers, man. So, it's kind of interesting. You know, a lot of people, you know, in Sherman's Gaming, excuse me, he was, wow. He was the first to talk about to me when we were discussing about, you know, the whole Clockwork City and, you know, the hints to the Summerset. So Sherman's Gaming was already kind of, you know, speculating it was going to be Summerset, you know, and sure enough it is. So that has been announced. The one thing that I'm really thankful for is, okay, so the devs got a few things on my Christmas wish list so far. Okay. We got player housing storage, which everybody wanted. Jewelry crafting, which everybody wanted. Because I literally was talking to players. We like kind of like grouped up. A new skill line. Okay, let's talk about the new skill line for a minute and its applications. I'm kind of disappointed we ain't getting weapon skill lines, but we're still getting a new skill line. That's cool. And they put out at least 3 of the base versions of what we could potentially be looking at. And we have time stop, meditation, and undo. Okay. So how is that dramatically going to impact PvE and PvP? In PvE, okay, let's talk about this just for a second. PvE, you can anticipate a lot of builds kind of probably conforming to at least slotting meditation. The game has, and especially certain other classes that are struggling with resource management, it's going to be up to the player to decide whether or not they're going to want meditation on their bar. Remember, we kind of have a very restricted bar space. But meditation is going to be kind of one of those abilities that's going to be like, I need extra resources. So, boom. So that's going to apply to a lot of classes, whether it be tanks, DPS, healers, whatever have you. So PvE application for meditation is going to be very, very welcome, both by stamina and magicka, because we can anticipate when you read it, you see it say, you know, restore health, stamina, magicka. So it's not just applied to one. It's not just magicka it's going to be, you know, appealing to. It's going to really appeal to a lot of classes and players who are struggling with resource management. Now, if they're not struggling with resource management, meditation might be something they not want to put on bar because you have to give up a bar space to slot it. So heads up. So PvE, yes. PvP, I don't anticipate it so much. Let's talk about the other 2 with time manipulation. Time stop. It's kind of interesting because I played a lot of games that have time manipulation. And for PvE, it's like the most bomb-ass thing. I'm talking like we're going to be able to see... I'll check out the comments here in a minute. We're going to be able to see like basically hitting achievements that we couldn't hit before, potentially, with a lot of players because they can't get those no deaths, right? Can't get it. You know, it's a pain in the butt to try to get no deaths because the no deaths are like, oh shit, you just died. Okay, now we're gonna hit undo, right? So all of a sudden it saves it from death. So PvE applications, these are going to be really kick-ass skills. Now I like how Richard specifically said we're going to have to take a look at this carefully, because the fact of it was In PvP, it becomes a whole different beast. And I know this because I played games with manipulation of time. So when you do time stop, how does that affect? Does it affect target? Does it affect surrounding players? How is that going to impact the type of environment in Cyrodiil or Battlegrounds? Not only that, undo. Think about undo here for a minute. You're close to death. You go dragon leaping into a mob. You hit undo prior. You got a 4-second count, right? 4 second. You hit the undo. You leap in. Okay. They die. If you hit the undo, does it wipe away their deaths? Or you die? Does it save your ass? Does the damage get taken away? How is that going to apply to PvP? That becomes a very, very, very interesting situation. And because if you can manipulate it right, there's a lot of crazy things you're going to be able to do with just undo. Now, what classes are going to use time stop and undo? Well, most likely it's not going to be your DPS. Most likely you're going to anticipate the healer slotting it. Especially if you're going for a no death feat. Why? Because that's what they do. You know, it's just like, okay, who can free up a spot without really, you know, risking the entire rotation? We'll put it on the healers. You know, you can see it coming. It's like coming in a mile, you know, like at fast speed, but you know it's coming and it's aiming directly at your head. So let me check out some of the comments really quick, and then we'll talk about like my favorites, the jewelry crafting. All right, so let me get in here. Yo, David, what's up? Robert's in the house. Josh, morning, brother. Okay, so that's kind of what we can anticipate with how these are going to use. Meditation, it's going to be utilized by players who need more resource management. It's going to be a real appealing. Undo and time stop, I don't look for a lot of DPS to use it unless damage application is going to be applied. So unless damage application is applied, we can anticipate if it's going to be used in PvE, it's going to be slotted by, guess who? The healer. So, just food for thought there. Now, let's talk about jewelry crafting, the big one. All right? Jewelry crafting. And I love it because the theory crafters are like, we could, you know, do a lot of theory crafting, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't need theory crafting. But, so they're introducing 3 new traits. So we're going to get 6 traits to jewelry crafting, right? 6. Remember, this is all speculation. That's why it's called Summerset Speculation. We're going to get 6 traits, right? We're going to see the 3 that we're accustomed to. That's arcane, robust, and healthy. Now, with the 3 new traits, now he gave us 1, which is bloodthirst, which is going to be really cool. But here becomes the question. Will you have to research the traits to craft them? Or will they be just applied? That becomes a good question. With the game and with the mechanics, I'm almost guaranteeing that we're going to have to research traits in jewelry. I can anticipate it. Even though it's 6, we can anticipate researching. Why? Because that also takes research these in the Crown Store and really makes them more appealing for players. Right? So when we go to the upgrades, I think it's under upgrades or utilities. It's under utilities, I think. Anyways, there's like a scroll that you can get, and I know it's on the other one, on the Writ Master, where you can reduce the amount of time needed to research, right? And, oh, I know it's in the crown crates. Hold on. I know it's in the crown crates. Okay, yeah, right here. Like, instant all research major. You know, reduce the progress of blacksmithing, clothing, and woodworking timer by 7 days. It's going to take these type of items and make them very appealing if we have to research traits. If we have to research jewelry traits, people are going to want to know those traits immediately. right? Why? Because they're going to add new drops, right? New crafted. But most important, the current jewelry you have will, guess what? Most likely be able to be transmuted. So if you have those jewelry pieces, you're going to be able to use the Clockwork City Transmutation Station and transmute your current jewelry into those traits. So heads up, guys. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you kind of like what you can anticipate, because I'm not under NDA here right now. I'm not, in this. What faction am I? Well, it depends which platform, Will. PS4, I'm EP. Xbox, I'm AD. And PC, I'm DC. So, I'm technically I'm all three factions, just on different platforms. So I'm like, I'm like running around all the time with different factions. But they're adding new traits to jewelry, grinding jewelry now, right? Materials. Now, here becomes I don't think a lot. It's funny because I know a couple content creators have been posting. They're all excited about jewelry crafting, especially endgame players, because you're going to be able to take different sets and stack them, crafted sets, which is why we've been wanting it. Because especially like beginning players, guess what? Their jewelry pieces suck, right? I mean, they really suck. Now they actually are going to be able to utilize a lot more, right? Which is pretty cool. But here becomes a major problem and I don't think the endgame players kind of anticipated this, was trial sets jewelry. Okay, so a lot of people still like to run 5-3-2 configs. I don't. I double stack. I've been double stacking since one Tamriel. Double stacking will just be as popular with this update. I can guarantee it. But unless you're a Magicka user, hence why I wanted the Wand and Scepter, Zoss, you missed the boat, man. It's not the end of the year. I'm holding my breath. I'm waiting anticipation. We get one more DLC. Zoss, make it happen. I'm telling you. They'll be telling you, let's get rid of the toxicity once and for all. Anyways, and I'll be talking about that in a minute. So one of the major things now is your trial set pieces. You'll never have to step in a vet unless you want the achievement. You'll never have to. Ever. You'll never have to do it. Ever. Why? Because you can take those little bitty junky blue pieces and upgrade them. You'll be able to upgrade. The players who will never step foot in a vet will have gold trial jewelry. They'll have it. They will have it. And I don't think the trial players realize that. Like, what's the incentive for doing vets? Achievement. Okay. Alrighty. Pre-order, if you just get the upgrade, pre-order without just standard is $30. I want to say upgrade digital collector's edition's $40. Collector's edition is $60. And just the standard with without anything for digital is $40, like $50 or something like that. I don't know. I paid $30. My dude paid $40 for the digital. He paid the extra $10, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry I don't have the extra $10 because I got to pay for 3 platforms. Blah. So if you were double sets, you don't wear monster sets. No, if I'm stamina, I do. If I'm Magicka, I have to choose between using swords to keep, a double stack, or going destro. So if I'm double stacked, I don't use a monster set then. But if I use swords, I can. But I lose out on a weave. I have to weave every other one instead of every 2 instead of every other one. So you'll lose DPS in that way, but you'll gain DPS from a proc. Pick and choose your, poison. Well, you can do 2 5-piece and a monster set if you wanted, right? That's the one with the mount, a $39.99. They all come with the mount. But if you do the $40 one, you'll get another mount during release, they said, or something like that. So, yeah. Yeah, the $40 one gets you the other mount. Correct. Yeah, I was just wondering what is better, double sets or monster set. It's going to be your call. Like, I use a lot of different configurations, Will. So what I do is sometimes I'll take, if I'm a Magicka user, sometimes I'll take the double swords. Because I get the 5%, right? But I lose out on the weave. That, it's like, where do I go? Also, same thing with stamina. Stamina, sometimes I don't even use, I'll do a 5-5 switch config. So back bar switch set this, front bar switch that set, and keep my monster set. So a lot of options. I play Mag Sork. I'm trying to figure out what to wear. A lot of, yeah, no problem, Will. Anytime, man. A lot of information, man. A lot of different configurations out there. Not really a lot of configurations. I shouldn't say that. Because if you watch endgame players, and there's a shitload of them, they all copy each other. All of them do. It's kind of sad, really, because then they call themselves content creators, and they're really just content copiers. We'll call them that. We'll call them content copiers. That's more accurate, right, guys? We'll call them that. We'll call them content copiers. They're definitely not content creators, because they don't create shit. So, moving forward. Now, so we're going to be anticipating, right? We know that we know what we're getting. Like I said, I'm anticipating healers using, those type of abilities. Meditation going to be applied to everybody depending on how they manage resources. Jewelry crafting, upgraded. I mean, just seriously, set PvP. PvP is going to be insane with these changes. Every hardcore PvPer will have Summerset. If you're a PvPer and you're debating about getting Summerset, what's there to debate? Jewelry, crafting, and augmentation. You aren't going to go without it. You're going to get it. So might as well just pre-order it, swallow the pride, and get the free mount, which I will show you guys, which is pretty dang cool. Okay, so I'm going to go under my collections and my mounts. I don't like it on this tune, though. Because he's so bulky. There he is! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah! He's so cool, isn't he? And you can have him today for free with the pre-order of Summerset. Oh, also, for players who are trying to bait players into playing Elder Scrolls, free trial for all platforms going on right now. So please go tell them. Pass along. Get on your Facebooks, get on your social media, and be like, try ESO free for the weekend of. Bring them. And on top of it, Zoss really sweetened the deal with Summerset pre-order, because if they order today, they get Morrowind, the base game, all for the price of Summerset. So that bundle deal is probably... I'm jealous of the bundle deal, to be honest with you, because I just got on Xbox and I thought I got a really good deal with the reduction to the collector's edition for Morrowind, which I'm glad I got. I'm not complaining about that. But now you could have had Summerset. You can have Summerset, Morrowind, and base game. It's like, so yeah, kind of cool. Just saying. And if they do that, they still get this mount too. So they'll even start out with a mount. It's a win-win situation, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a win-win. So PvPers, you're going to have this game. What's, is it going to affect, like, a lot of things towards endgame and things like that? No, but lore junkies are definitely going to be involved in the Summerset. I mean, the lore's there. The storyline continues. We have Rosenda, coming back. We have, Queen Iran, for some weird reason, open the borders. I mean, I kind of like the idea of how they did all of this. We're going to open the borders. Okay, cool. I guess. But, and there's this little quest line, too, that you can start in the Crown Store. So when you go to the Crown Store and you go to features, right, is it features? Yeah, right here. Mage Guild Message Stone. Okay. So you get this, and it sends you on a new little quest line, a pre-quest line to Summerset, right? So Vanis is going to guide you through the opening, storyline of the weird. Okay? So I guess it's weird. I guess it is weird. So you can, anticipate that. So if you're a PvPer and you're debating, don't debate. Just get it. You know you're going to. Okay, so I finally got my medium Valgan scoring shorter. Oh, grats, Storm. Is jewelry crafting in the new guild line locked behind the pay wall like BG was with Morrowind? Okay, I imagine in a way the skill line will be. Jewelry crafting, I don't know. Jewelry crafting is going to be base game in a lot of ways, but how do you acquire it? Do you need Summerset to acquire the skill line? I mean, here's the way I want to look at it, Robert. There's going to be a paywall no matter what, because when you take a look at MMOs, there's always expansions, right? And it's paying for the employees. I mean, think about it. ZOS has to pay their employees. Well, to pay their employees, they have to generate revenue. And to generate revenue, they need to go ahead and, charge us somewhere along the lines. So, to me, I have no problem coughing up the money if it's worthy. So, and a lot of times I save money because I'm an ESO Plus member. But when I take a look at expansions, I'm like, is this expansion or chapter worthy? When we're saying jewelry crafting, even if it's behind the Summerset, that you have to have Summerset to craft jewelry, I would say that's a very worthy investment. I use double swords on Magplar. The Skin Mystic ESO is all about fashion, right? It's fashion. Well, here lately we can call them ESO haters. ESO Daily haters, of course. That's what they are. Mystic, do you get heavy attack weave, then spam, and I'm getting that chapter so I can make my time blade? Oh, I can imagine you will, Storm. You're a hardcore PvPer. I know you will have that. I think the skill line will be locked, but jewelry crafting wouldn't be. That's a good point, Sarah. I mean, I think the skill line is definitely, we have to go there, so it makes sense. And the jewelry crafting has to be part of the base game, right? Because we're going to get new drops and new traits, so it's got to be applied to base. Is it just going to be, excuse me, automatically unlocked? That's the question. So, yeah. So there's a lot of things. The new skill line has me a little disappointed, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. I wanted pole arms, and I want a scepter or a wand with be able to dual wield, magical shit as a caster. It's what I want. So the toxic people, let's talk about this for a second. The toxic people can get off my ball sack, which they never fucking will. Because yesterday, I want to thank Rich. By the way, thanks, Rich, because I loved how you slipped that in. What's her name? I've only seen her twice. Who's interviewing Rich? Said, oh, well, players can't play how they want, right? And he's like, oh, yes, exactly. That's what Elder Scrolls is. You can, if you want to be that traditional fireball casting caster mage, you can do that. Or if you want to be a heavy armor wearing mage, you can do that as well. You can build how you want. And I loved how they slipped it in, without aggravation. Just kind of like, this is Elder Scrolls. There are a lot of options you can do. There's not just one way to play this game. Rich, that was slick, dude. That was slick. Cool deal. Thank you. Because Mars was like, the meta just died, and he referred to that statement. That statement alone, and I've always said, death to the meta, man. This game's got so much more potential, so much more reach to it, that the original content creators couldn't grasp. They couldn't understand it. They just couldn't conceive it. Like, when I started, it was like, I started on a Nightblade healer, ridiculed, poor DK heal, but PC players were doing it since beta, and then all of a sudden it was just like, Templars are the only acceptable this, or DKs are the only acceptable tanks, and this and that, though Deltio did do Templar tanking for a minute there, and it was like, to me, it's like, you can't overlook what the devs intentionally designed in game mechanics. It's always with reason or purpose, and always with, you know, there's a gain, but you got to lose if you're going to use it. There's somewhere you got to lose along the line. And I think with these new traits in jewelry crafting, that's going to be a prime example. So we know there's a base stat involved. We know that, right? Let me get this way, Shrine. We know there are base stats between arcane and robust, right? And healthy. How these other three offset the temptation of going with standard is going to be apparent. It's going to be like, do I want to sacrifice so much upfront damage for more in the end? That just becomes a question. You know, that's part of the whole, you know, appeal to the Elder Scrolls dynamics, is like, how do I approach this class in that build configuration? The sandbox implications to the game is all within the how you approach your enchantments, your augmentations to your character sheet. You have a lot more control than any other MMO will allow you to have. Because when you're in any other MMO, it's crafted, you craft, those stats don't change. Right? You loot, those stats don't change. In Elder Scrolls, I don't like that health. I'll change it to Magicka. I don't like that Magicka. I want it to be stamina. Okay. And you can do that here. That's the appeal to Elder Scrolls. Right? People want to call it theory crafting, and I'm like, what's there to theorize? I know if I exchange this enchantment for this, I get this number. Okay, I know this set gives me an X amount of crit value. I know. And they're like, which one deals more DPS? That's like, okay, let's talk about this. So there's a video of a player out there who's talking about diminishing return and crit value. It's funny. It's actually pretty hilarious because this person has an IQ of a peanut. You can go over. Though, don't take my word for it. This is the message I'm going to give you. Okay, this is MMO 101, or what I like to call the golden rule of MMOs. Diminishing returns always affects crit first. It's intentionally designed that way, right? Because it's not affecting your crit per se. It's affecting base damage. The higher your crit chance, it's going to affect base damage, and that thus affects what? Critical damage output, unless you find the indifferent value within the CP system to make up what? Your loss. So, you can actually go to a forum. So I want you to Google, if anybody ever questions it. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to walk away, but I'm going to leave you with this. Type in ESO forums crit diminishing returns. Now, there's going to be a couple links. One's going to be old school about the hard cap, soft cap. There's going to be a newer one where one player specifically even breaks down the loss percentage per 5% increase of your base value. So, I'm not the first or the only one who knows about it. Old school MMOers are aware of it, right? It's just been in MMOs forever. If you played like any MMO that is class-based, you're aware of it. You're aware of how diminishing returns affects crit damage and values. So just a heads up. So don't take my word for it. I'm not even going to do it. Just go to the ESO forums. One player there. They all talk about it, but one player specifically has it broke down into the formula every 5%. What the loss of base damage will be and how it will affect critical damage output. So it's kind of cool. And he's not an ESO content creator. He's just a forum player. He's old school, and I thought that was pretty cool. Thumbs up, dude. Thumbs up. Kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm misleading my viewers. Oh my gosh. My gosh. Tell you, man, they're funny. They're funny, funny, funny. But, yeah, so I think there's going to be a lot of really cool things with the upcoming chapter. So if the new trial, if you're going to be a trial player, you're going to get it. New maps for Battlegrounds. I anticipate at least one new map for Battleground, if not two. That's, you know, set within the Summerset Isle, which will be cool. I anticipate one to be centered around something in Summerset, and one to be about the fission, the order. So I anticipate that to be on one of the islands. That's what I anticipate. So we'll see how it goes. We will see. Okay. So let me check out the comments, and then we'll be wrapping this up. I want dual wield wands myself, because when I play, the whole time at my head I'm going pew pew pew. You know, the thing about it is, what I want, I don't care if it's dual wands. I want a wanded tome. I just want to be able to have dual on the back, even if it's a tome. I'm cool with that. I just want to be able to be double stacked with a monster set like a stam user without giving up a weave. That's not hard. We all know that they absolutely nailed this announcement, and the hype is real for Summerset. I love the fact that they did it. I don't even think they're going to need to hide behind an NDA. Jewelry crafting. Oh, now, also, keep in mind, guys, every new landmass we get 3 new crafted sets. What those crafted sets will be interesting, to say the least. So I really am looking forward to seeing what crafted sets we're going to get with this, because that's one thing they did not announce. That girl on the live stream seems so lost about ESO. You can tell she doesn't play. Right, but at the same time, it kind of makes it, I think, a little bit more genuine that she's just questioning, you know, Richard, in a way that she could be a new player, and how would her experience be if she came into Elder Scrolls. So I kind of like her little, you know, approach to Richard as far as questioning. So yeah, we know she doesn't play it, but at the same time, at least, you know, coming from a new player's perspective, it's genuine, right? I mean, in that essence. I'm thinking about making a DK healer. Do you think that is possible? I'm new to this game. Yeah, Will, it's possible. Way more than, actually, but yeah, sure. Quit talking about me like I'm not here. Papa, what's up, dude? It's Snoop's true, but she is easy on the eye. She's very attractive. She's very attractive. Especially with the glasses and stuff. You know, she's very attractive. I will say that. Her husband's a lucky man. So whoever he may be, very lucky man to have such an attractive, very inquisitive woman. She seems very intelligent too, even though she's a little naive on Elder Scrolls. So, you know, just from her speech and the way she, whatever, seems intelligent. I love tanking and healing, and to be honest, I love my Nightblade healer. Ultimer with Bellpower Cure, War Maidens. Nice, excellent, Sarah. And Soric tanks, definitely. Bloodthorns, ooh, that's a good one, Sarah. Good idea there. That's actually pretty badass. I love that approach. Bloodthorns. Ooh, that is nice. So, you know, the funny thing about it is, I think we'll see a lot of things coming up, but, you know, I don't know if we'll be, like, hiding, how long we'll be hiding behind an NDA. I do not know. I anticipate that a couple of the things that ZOS will implement, you know, I just hope before the end of the year, they've nailed, and I got a new theme. Thank you, ZOS, yet again. I'm probably going to get another one. So thank you for the theme. So they nailed quite a bit on there's only like 2 things still not on my Christmas wish list that hasn't been answered. I doubt the one does. But let's hope before the end of the year we get new weapon skill lines. If that happens, I'm going to literally pass out. I will pass out and be like, oh my God, they hear me. They hear us. Because me and my dudes, we all sat down. There was like quite a bit of us who sat down and we were like literally saying, what does this game need? What do we need in this game to make it just that more like must play, must stop, must never stop playing this game, must never leave this game for another game. And that's what we like literally sat down and was debating about. So that's what it is. Retention for a company is the key to success. Not how much you sell up front, but how much you retain in sales to gain maximum profit. Business School 101, boys and girls. You know, because what's the best marketing? Word of mouth. When you retain customers, they will attract what? New customers. And how much does that cost in your marketing expenditure? A big fat zip. Nada. Zero. It's how you maximize profit. All right. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. So we've speculated about a couple of things. I really, once again, want to thank the devs. You guys do a great job. I want to thank the man who literally showed his face in the beginning of it. We all know him. Matt Fear. Oh, hail thee. I can't wait to make my Brass Fortress huntings or Shackle Breaker and huntings, maybe Night Mothers. Oh my, yeah, it's going to be nuts. Agreed with all you guys. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. PvE is even going to be nuts. Like, I think, and here's another thing, I'll leave you off with this. Will jewelry crafting, you know, especially sets, replace drop sets? No. No. If anything, it makes it more appealing for players, especially new ones, to do what? Get involved in lower grade content to upgrade their components. So for new players coming in who have a harder time doing X content, Y content, they can go ahead and say, I have my blue jewelry, I'll just get the materials and upgrade them. And now I can work at being better with my rotation in class. And that's kind of the appeal to this. Think about it, guys. Gold, spell, power, cure was within our grasp. Gold, sheer venom is within our grasp. I must. So, there you go. There it is. We'll put the golden out of work. She's been tired. She works every weekend, non-stop. She doesn't have to work throughout the weekdays. She's working so much on the weekend. We need to give her a little vacation and do it ourselves. We'll start supplying our own gold jewelry. How's that sound? Sounds good to me. All right, guys. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope this answers a lot of questions about speculation, right? Once again, it's speculation. But right now, I'm not under an NDA. Now, if they have an NDA and I'm on PTS, guess what? I'm not going to be able to talk about this. So, hence why I want to get it out of the way now. So, I can't give you any information once I'm under NDA. So, other than, yeah, it's cool. So, we'll see. All right? We'll definitely see. All right, guys. So, there it is. I'm Mysticraven, the ESO Daily. I want to thank you guys for watching. And, once again and always, have a nice day.